So I don't have to go there tonight.
Yeah.
If there's anything missing, but,
How are they doing?
Well, the ground floor, we do the bathroom we got now. Utilizing the park that they after this grill option, then Kathy wanted to make a church house.
No kidding.
We made one.
I don't know all the details on that stuff.
I know they're, I do want to make a cherry And Mary Ann's, if you heard about that, you know, she had a hairline problem. But that really could do it.
That's great.
It gets bigger.
I'm a sucker.
Yeah, that first thing you're gonna do is something to shoot.
This is the soil. Yeah.
Are you, how long ago when you do this stuff?
You know, some moles or territory, you'll normally have one mole, three.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. This is wanting to take ground down.
I got that. Yeah, you can. Hey, I think the progress in 30 seconds. I get it here.
I saw that.
Was it a word?
Yeah.
It's no joke.
Good.
If the sun was out there.
Okay.
Good evening and welcome to the Monday, April 14th, 2025 meeting of the Martinsville Martinsville Board of Works and Safety. I think I'm in the right place. Meeting is hereby called to order. Clerk, please call a roll.
Kelly Bray, John Lillywhite,
Present.
Mayor Costin.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Prior to tonight's meeting, we received in our packets a copy of the minutes from the Monday, March 24th meeting. Are there any corrections or additions or comments to the meeting, the minutes?
No, and I motion that we approve them as presented.
I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries. Under unfinished business, we had a contract with Jeff's Sales and Service. At the March 24th meeting, we asked to have this table till now. So, Mr. Dunn.
The contract is for, it's over 2 years. It's to service, we have 14 generators at all our facilities. We just added a 15th at the police station. So the contract before you is for, it's a 2-year contract. The first year is for $10,216. The police station has a 1-year warranty on their generator, so we don't need to service it until the second year. That'll be $620 to take care of the 2 visits they make to each generator. And then the second year is also $10,216. So in total, it's $21,052 for a 2-year contract. We're saving about $6,000. And the gentleman who quoted us this had just retired from Cummins. And so he was the tech for all our generators. He knows our Systems, a very competent gentleman. And so we're not only getting the same good service, but at a better price.
And I apologize, I wasn't here last meeting. Why was this tabled for this meeting?
I was not here, and there was just a little confusion as if it was a one-year contract or a two-year contract. And it is definitely a two-year contract, and it does cover all of the generators that we have. We've got generators at all of our major facilities and at our key lift stations and booster stations.
And I assume it's your recommendation that we move forward with this?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Then I would motion that we approve this contract as presented.
I will second that motion. Any other questions for Mr. Dunn?
Nope.
Motion on the floor to approve the contract with Justice Sales and Service as a two-year contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Mr. Porter?
Good evening, Board. I know there's a lot on your agenda, so I'll try to do this as expeditiously as we can. You have before you the annual application for street closures for the Fall Foliage Festival. There is one slight modification that may be made to it, and Lisa Bulling is here from the festival parade if you have any questions regarding that. With the construction that's going to be taking place around the square, Washington Street's going to choke down in one lane, so they're going to, we suggested to them, and Lisa has agreed, if the board is in agreement, to make that turn onto Jefferson Street versus going all the way over to Main Street for the duration of the, for the parade, I'm sorry. And that may come back again next year, depending upon where we are with the closures around the square. But that's the only change to it. 5K run, we're going to, the staff would like to recommend that we state in the approval, if the board approves, to not go south of John R. Wooden Drive on Illinois Street, so we can keep that intersection open for parade traffic coming in. I think Lisa would appreciate that also. But that would be the only thing, is to make sure they do not, that they make their turn there, the U-turn there on Illinois, north of John R. Wooden, instead of at the parking lot to the church. So with that, that's all I have. And as I said, there are representatives present if you have questions.
Just for my clarification, that means that on the parade route, we would not be closing Main Street?
Correct.
So neither one would close Main Street or Morgan Street?
Correct.
Then
The 5K run does not go, it would maybe go to Main Street, and that would be okay, because they can navigate a smaller area. The parade, it would be too tight for spectators and for making that transition down to a single lane.
So we'll just turn it up Jefferson and then swing back.
Swing down, they'll go
Columbus
south on Jefferson to Columbus and back out Columbus.
Then I don't have any questions. I would motion that we approve that street closure application for both events.
I will second that, but I do have a couple of questions, trying to be prepared for the radio station. Dates and times and events, it says October 12th, 8 a.m. to October 12th, 4 p.m. I'm assuming it's a little longer than that.
That's the time of the actual events. The closures will be from 7:30 in the morning until right after the parade concludes.
Okay. And what are the dates of the festival this year?
9 through the 12th.
9th.
And the parade typically has been ending right just a little before 4, and we try to get it to the so you pick up the barriers as we go at the end of the parade opening back up. So it should be pretty close before it opens back up.
Okay.
We'll probably say 4:30 on the signs, just to give our crews time to get them pulled. But usually by the time they start putting signs, people are already parked on the street, so, yeah.
And this is actually for the parade route. This will be the same parade route that we used when the 69 construction was going on. That 2 years. 2 years. Or I said the year that it was.
Yeah.
Can't take us together anywhere. This is the exact same parade route we used that year. We turned up Jefferson that year too, because of all the semi-traffic and stuff that was coming through. So this is kind of a repeat to
There's precedent.
Okay. Okay, so a motion on the floor to approve the street closure is presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed none, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Oakes?
Evening. What we have this evening is, these are easements for the levee power that Duke Electric will be running down through there. You just talked about the generators. You're gonna have 4 more generators that come down through here as well. So, this is $290,000 worth of work. The first one is the 2 parcels that you see, ending in 006 and 001. Those are on the branch property. That's on the north side of I-39, of State Road 39. That's the first 2 parcels that the easement goes through. That'll be Duke's power line. It's about $290,000, and it'll be a board that they put in to bring that down through there. So the first 2 are on the branch property. That's the number is 550932400001. And the first one ends in 006021. The second one ends in 001023. So I ask for your approval for those easements.
I would make that motion.
It's been a motion made. I will second to approve the easements of these 2 parcels. Any other questions for Gary?
Nope.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed none, the motion carries.
The second one is 5 parcels, and it's on Wayne Hayes' property and Jerry Cragen's property. And those are ending in 001, 002, 3, 3, 2, and 1. So we've got a series of those, but they're on the 2 properties. Again, that's the Duke power line going down through those easements on properties we acquired for the levee.
I don't have any questions on that. I would motion that we approve those 5 parcels.
I will second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed no, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. No parking consideration on North Wayne Street. John, since you weren't here last week, at the end of the meeting, Mr. Bodie came by and asked for that closure, or no parking on Wayne Street between Morgan and Pike. If you go on up, Pike to Harrison, everything on the east side does have no parking. At some point, it was no parking on that side, and those signs have disappeared. The police chief went up there earlier today, and he agreed that it made sense to have that on that side. I would like to go a step further possibly, and the police chief agreed, is the restaurant that's opening on the west side, that maybe the alley that runs east and west just north of that property, from that alley back to Morgan Street, maybe not put no parking signs up, but paint the curb yellow to indicate no parking along that too, because the restaurant's going to have outside seating.
I think it's a fabulous idea. I completely agree. I read through this before the meeting. I would motion that we approve the request from Mr. Bodie requesting the no parking, and I agree that we should also stripe from the alley south to Morgan as a no parking.
Okay. I will second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed none, motion carries. Mr. Oakes?
May I ask a clarifying question real quick?
Sure.
My name is Steve Bowden. Do we have any idea when that might happen? Because the restaurant is probably going to open in the near future, and that was our biggest concern as a neighboring property owner.
We'll check with Frank to see if he's got signs. If he's got signs, he'll probably get them up tomorrow. And we've got yellow paint. I've seen that being freshened up around the city, so we should be able to get it, depending on the weather, with the paint, of course, but no, we'll get it as soon as possible.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of no parking, so we're on the same page.
Gary?
Mr. Oakes.
Gary, if you're ready.
This one is a change order to the levee project. It's the Striegel construction part of the project. His contract was a little over $11 million. This is a change order in the amount of $290,871.90. We're filling in a swale, is what I would really call it. It's a low spot between there and what's our new pump station is going to be. It became a problem, and we considered it, seemed like a lot of money for what we were describing for a long time. All three engineers said, no, it needs to be done, so that's where we went with. So that's a change order for Striegel. It's within our contingency. We've got money still within that contract, and this comes from the $14 million we have with the state right now. So I asked for approval of change orders to Striegel Construction in the amount of $290,871.90. It was a lot of dirt.
I say it's about a quarter mile worth of gravel and fill, but if it's got to be done, I would motion that we approve the change order for filling in the swale.
I will second that motion. Any other questions for Gary?
None from me.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Gary, you've got the next one too with Reed and Son Construction.
Now we're switching levees. This is a north levee. This is a Reed contract. What they encountered there, at each pump station where the water literally pumps up over the top of the levee and goes to the riverward side. So these are the drains that are on the landward side that we're pumping out. What they encountered is the elbows that were called for in the drawings were at a 45-degree angle. The slope of the levee itself better matched with a 22-degree angle. So that's what that change order was, changing it from 45s to 22s. Those that were purchased were already on site, so we've taken them down to our street department, our water department. Well, I hang on to those. They're awfully big. Don't know we'll ever use them, but we've got them. We paid for them, so we might as well keep them. So it's a change order in the amount of $22,766.67.
Gary, can you explain the next line item down talks about other pending requests. It's a negative, it looks like what could be a credit for $24,460.
Yes, we had a credit on that side for a generator that was oversized, we thought, and we asked the electrical contractors to take another look at that and see if we could reduce the size of that, and they did, so that's what the credit is, yes.
Okay, so this will just come close to wiping out the credit?
Very close.
Very good. I would motion that we approve that change order.
I will second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Porter?
You may recall a few weeks ago, we brought before you an agreement for services for the Sierra Schaefer Art Project. That contract that we presented to you was not accepted by the selected artist that we had. And after subsequent trying to reach an agreement that was suitable to all parties, we were not able to do that. So the city withdrew that offer to that artist. We went to another artist or a team that was part of the bid process, and the committee said it was okay to move forward and working with this group. They approved that plan. So what you have before you is an agreement that all parties have already taken a look at and are in agreement to. Dale has reviewed, their attorneys have reviewed, and we're ready to move forward as soon as the board approves this agreement.
Was there any material thing that stopped the last contract from going through?
I'm sorry, please?
Was there anything material that stopped the last contract from going through?
There was, no, there was nothing material, just couldn't come to terms with the contract.
Okay, and it's everyone's recommendation that they like it and we move forward? Then I am in agreement, and I would motion that we approve the contract with Land Story as presented.
I will second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries. Mr. Coffey, the notice of a lawsuit.
Yeah, we received a lawsuit that was filed against the city. And so I'm just asking that we go ahead and approve sending that to our insurance carrier for representation.
Yeah, I read through this a few days ago, and I don't have any questions. I would motion that we send that on to our insurance and let them handle it.
I will second that motion. All in favor of sending the notice of lawsuit to the insurance carrier, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed none, motion carries. Sewer adjustments tonight, 559 South Sycamore Street, $370.45. 309 East Sumner Street, $41.66. 522 Eric Court, $859.10. 640 North Mulberry Street, $689.11. 1402 Crabapple Court, $50.67. 589 South State Road 39, $10,895.17. Get information on these, or are there any questions or comments?
I know we have just recently voted on the new requirements for people having to show up and talk to us. It looks like at least one of these might qualify for that. Where are we at on that? I'm sure that hasn't been written.
It's been passed.
It's been passed, okay. Does anybody know if any of these qualify specifically? I mean, obviously, 589 State Road 39 looks an awful lot like it could.
Yeah, that one probably needs to be addressed. You've already given them one adjustment last fall. It actually came through in January of this year. It was for $3,758.59. Whatever was broken, they got it fixed. Their consumption went down in December. This is a restaurant. Their consumption in December went back down in range, 5,080 gallons, which is about what a family goes through. But then in January, it started shooting up. It was 16,530 gallons. February, 32,310 gallons. And March was 57,710 gallons. That's a couple of swimming pools.
Yes, it is.
So that's where we're at. And I asked Heather, the water department specifically, what in the world's going on? And she wrote back, she said, it appears the repair didn't fix the issue, or there was a completely different issue. The consumption really didn't ever go back down to normal and got close, and then has gradually increased, I would say rapidly increased in the last 3 months.
Were they, I assume they were notified. I know
Sure.
the water office does a pretty good job of getting on it quick.
They're wonderful. When they see a spike in water usage, they immediately contact the owner of the business, whatever,
So they were contacted probably back in
guarantee you, they were in
January or February.
In January, they would have been.
Okay, then I'm going to motion that we approve sewer adjustments A through E as presented and require a representative from what I believe is Hardee's to come and have a word with us, because I don't feel great about throwing another 11,000 at it.
Motion on the floor to approve sewer adjustments A through E and ask for 589 South State Road 39 to come in and explain their number here. I will second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next regular meeting of the Board of Works and Safety will be on Monday, April 28th, 6:30 here in the council chambers. We are adjourned. Good evening and welcome to the Monday, April 14th, 2025 meeting of the Martinsville Common Council. Meeting is hereby called to order. Mr. Porter, if you would come forward for tonight's invocation. So if everyone would please stand for the invocation and remain standing for our pledge of allegiance.
Lord, as we enter this Holy Week, we come before you this evening as servants of the city, seeking your wisdom and guidance. May the discussions tonight be filled with respect, collaboration, and shared commitment on the well-being for all. May each decision be approached with integrity and humility, keeping the needs of our citizens at the forefront. May your hand of protection be with our first responders and city crews as they do their jobs of protecting our city and caring for our needs each and every day. Bless this meeting with your presence, and may your spirit inspire and lead us with compassion, fairness, and unity. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Meredith, would you please call roll?
John Badger.
Present.
Susie Lips.
Present.
Ben Mahan.
Present.
Josh Barron.
Present.
Ann Miller.
Present.
Bill Deckard Sr.
Present.
Bill Deckard II.
Present.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Prior to tonight's meeting, you received minutes from the Monday, March 24th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I would move the March minutes be accepted as distributed.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the minutes as they were distributed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Abstain.
Abstain also.
We have 5 with 2 abstaining. Chief Green, I believe you have a special presentation.
I did. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate that. I'm going to read to the council. Hopefully it's loud enough for all of you to hear, but each one of the members is going to get something tonight. I'll have this same paper, so if you'd like to read it, you can as well. Thank you, council. On the morning of April 3rd, 2025, at approximately 2:02 a.m., Martinsville Fire Department were dispatched to a residence fire at 959 South Grant Street. Ladder 142 arrived, finding 2-story residence with fire coming from the D side. Lieutenant Cook and firefighter Dighton went through the front door, conducted a left-hand search, and found a male victim in the bedroom on the B side of the residence. Lieutenant Cook and firefighter Dighton removed their victim from the B side bedroom window, passing their victim off to Martinsville police officers David Schultz and Officer Josh Gerkins and firefighter William Berwick. Deputy Chief Aaron Fraker arrived on the scene just behind ladder 142 and was able to knock down the fire using his water fire extinguisher. Then he paired up with firefighter Jarrett. Firefighter Jarrett deployed an attack line through the front door and conducted a right-hand search. Firefighter Jarrett and Deputy Chief Aaron Fraker then located a female victim in the kitchen. Firefighter Jarrett started removing the victim from the doorway of the kitchen. Firefighter Dighton and Lieutenant Cook met up with Firefighter Jarrett and Deputy Chief Aaron Fraker in the living room. Firefighter Jarrett and Dighton removed the victim out the front door. Fire Marshal Charlie Fraker arrived on the scene and assumed command. Once the fire was marked under control, Deputy Chief Aaron Fraker assumed command back so Fire Marshal Fraker could start the fire investigation. The victims were handed off to Morgan County EMS Medic 961, Paramedic Nikki Petro, and EMT Lindsay Rakes, Medic 962, Paramedic Alexis Exposito, and EMT Elizabeth Short, and EDO 903 Terry Bunton. CPR was started with the help of the following agencies: Morgan County EMS Medic 916, Martinsville, Washington Township, Green Township, and Perrigan Fire Departments. The male victim was transported to the hospital and was determined to be in critical but stable condition. During this time, Captain Brian Collier, firefighter David Fogelman, firefighter Dave David Gilkerson, firefighter Tristan Skank, and firefighter William Berwick were tasked with getting a water supply to be able to extinguish the fire completely and to assist with CPR. All the above named crews operated and worked as an efficient and effective team to accomplish the basic task of entry, fire control, search and rescue operations. During the initial critical minutes of this incident, a male victim was rescued and his life was saved by the crew's operation at this incident. For demonstrating life-saving actions, which are highly reflective of the Martinsville Fire Department and coordinated efforts of others, the Fire Chief's unit citation is awarded to Ladder 142, Engine 141, Car 1402, Car 1403, Morgan County EMS Medic 961, Medic 962, Medic 916, EDO 903, MPD officers David Schultz and Josh Gerkins, and let's not forget Morgan County Dispatcher Gabriel Sawyers. At this time, if you would, let's give these all a round of applause. I'm going to try to be loud enough. I think that I am. Everybody able to hear me and okay on anything? Okay, to try to make this the easiest and the best that I can. I have certificates for everybody that I mentioned, but I would like to have Lieutenant Cook and Firefighter Dyton come to the front, please. Anybody else that's upstairs that was a part of it, please make your way down so we can move the meeting on. While they're coming down, I know that everybody says that firefighters, EMTs, the police, dispatchers, anybody that's involved in public service, it's our job. We know it's our job. We absolutely know it's our job. We also take a note that we're willing to die for our job. And in this particular instance, it's not very often that we are able to have a save and particularly have both victims pulled out and have the ability to have resuscitation efforts performed on them. Especially at that time in the morning, everybody made a very quick trek to the fire ground. I mean, they were there really quick. The one thing I will say is that these two guys right here jumped off the truck. They know their job. That's the beautiful part about my job, is that they know theirs. I don't have to be there. Fortunately, I wasn't. I wasn't at this fire. But I'm super proud of everybody that I've named here and all those who are involved. Lieutenant Cook and Dyton, Firefighter Dyton, thank you very much. This is the certificate of life-saving to you, presenting recognition of your successful life-saving actions on the 3rd of April, where you rescued a victim that had become trapped in a residential structure fire. The exceptional actions taken by you directly contributed to saving the life and preventing further injuries to the patient. This certificate is presented with my appreciation and gratitude for a job well done. Thank you. All right, if I could, Fire Marshal Fraker, come to the front, please. Travis Jarrett, Firefighter Jarrett, Firefighter Skank, Firefighter Berwick, Captain Collier, is he still doing, oh, he is here. Okay. I got you for a few minutes, don't I? Okay. If you don't know, your taxes are due, so he's been working late nights. Firefighter Gilkerson, Firefighter Fogelman, Chief Breaker here. We know he was sick today, so. And Dyton and Cook, come back up, please. Thank you. I would like to say special thanks to these guys. You know, this is, what shift, Collier? What shift are you?
A shift.
A shift. And normally A shift gets beat up quite a bit because, you know, A shift is like the backward shift. Everybody says that it's a fire service thing.
B shift's always better, and C shift always does everything. So, great job to this crew. I don't know if you noticed this, but we have a few young people on this shift. Firefighter Jared, how long have you been on?
4 months.
4 months. And you had the opportunity to go into a house fire, and this isn't your only fire, you've had a bunch. And so we are very fortunate. As the citizens that live here in Martinsville, right here's something pretty special to see. I got to talk to a fireman that used to work for us. He was on the ambulance today, he did a great job. He went to a little bit bigger fire department right up the road. He's had 0 fires since he has went. He had 1 bale fire, hay bale fire. These guys are seeing fire quite often. The department is. You guys are doing a great job. For me, as a citizen of this city and town, Martinsville, I'm proud to have you as firemen. Proud to be a part of this organization, but most importantly, thank you for serving us. So, great job. Thank you. Could I have the EMS crew come up, please? Sherry Button? EDO? This is for you. Could you just step down here? Lesniewski? Yes. EMT Evan Lesniewski. I've been sweating over that name this whole time. I'll get with you in just a second. Nikki Petro. EMT Lindsay Rakes. No, correct. EMT Elizabeth Short. Paramedic Alexis Esposito. Is that correct? Paramedic Scott Park, correct? Okay, this is a great crew as well. Morgan County EMS, they do a great job for us. We are so fortunate to have Morgan County EMS in our backyard right here. I know that people get angry sometimes because they don't like this or they don't like that, but you ought to love this. They're right here. Chad Cook was here. He's a retired fireman. There were some times you had to wait a long time for somebody to come help you. And it wasn't all that long ago, whenever I started, that we would wait for many, many minutes. Thank you so much for getting out the door, getting there, taking these things serious. Somebody's alive today because of this crew right here as well. And you know, I know that it's probably not all these hands touch the same person, but it takes all of us on the fire ground. For those that are out here, you're getting ready to see a few more police officers. It takes all of us. And honestly, there's not enough. If you heard what I said, it took a couple of guys having to go try to find the second victim. It takes a lot. And I know we're a very, very expensive department for this city, but we're worth it. You all are worth it. We really appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. It's an honor to work with you as well. So thank you very much. Could I have my 2 officers, please? Gabriel here? Yeah. Oh, come up here. I'm sorry, I didn't see you, Gabriel, sorry. All right, so Gabriel works up at Morgan County Dispatch. When you call 911 or you call because you didn't get your french fries, Gabriel's the one answering. He doesn't like the french fry calls, do you? But we are very, very grateful to have dispatch members that do their job and they help us. The unfortunate part for them is that they have to listen to all our chatter. And the first few minutes of the fire ground scene is chaotic. Everybody here, if you've listened to a scanner or if you've listened to a radio or you've been anywhere around, you know that it can be kind of crazy. Thank you very much for what you do for us. We appreciate it. Officer Schultz and Officer Gerkens, thank you very much. I know that you guys were there to help take somebody out of the window. That's never a pretty sight. It's never fun. It's nasty. It's all the things that you can imagine. But they always are there to help us. It's not just these 2, it's the whole department. They're always there willing to help us. The only thing that's concerning me is let us do the firefighting and you guys take care of that people. But anyway, it's fine. You guys did a great job. We're very grateful for you. We're very proud of you. Honored to be a part of this with you guys as well. So thank you very much. Last but not least, and I did not invite them because I want to go to their departments, but I am going to go ahead and give Washington Township Fire, Green Township Volunteer Fire Department, and Paragon Volunteer Fire Department. They came to our scene, they helped us, they were there for us. We are very grateful for their help. There's a mutual aid. And I know that sometimes we hear people gripe at us about we're leaving Martinsville. But I will tell you, without those departments who are volunteer, they get paid nothing, by the way. They're here to help us, and they were here to help save a life. So we're ever grateful for them and our partnership that we have with them. Folks, I'm really proud of this group. And as the fire chief of the city of Martinsville, it's a great honor to be able to recognize all of you. So thank you very much. If you get a chance, you want to get pictures, whatever, you want to get out of here, you can. That's great. Thanks for being here. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Green. And see, having the police and the fire close together, that's working out.
It's working out great. Yeah. Just wait till it gets nicer out. Barbecue. Yes.
I'd like to get pictures with you guys if we can. Get pictures with you guys for me.
Again, Chief Green, thank you. Thank you, Chief Lang, for all the work that you've done for our city. Next on the agenda, Mr. Meredith, your treasurer's report for us.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to follow that up, but you know, let's talk interest and budgets. That's what everybody wants to talk about, right? So just to let you all know, interest made by year. This has been updated on the website. As of the end of March, we've been able to accrue $222,378.02. So we're still doing pretty well.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. $222,378.02. That's the interest we've accrued up till end of March. So that does not include this month. So, and that is on the website. Also, the budget updates are on the webpage. If anybody's interested in looking at that, we are on track to hit our 2% give back goal, which is what we've encouraged all the departments to do. So we're trending very, very well. I am working with Jeff Peters. We're watching the legislation very closely with State Bill 1. I'm sure it's a hot topic right now, so we are watching that very, very closely. We're working on a couple of mock budgets to be in compliance with that wherever that lands. So that's something that we're working on quite a bit every day. I have dreams about it. We've looked at it so much. So just want to also remind everybody that my office is hosting a workshop on April the 26th. It's a Saturday. It's from 9 to noon. If you're interested in coming to that, if you would let me know, that is open to the public. So if the public wants to attend that, they can also. The purpose of that is just to go over the general procedures in our office on accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, other things, just kind of hot topic issues that we get a lot of questions on and there seems to be confusion on. The goal is we will have the clerks that specialize in that area to answer questions, to kind of go over what we do every day, and that way you can kind of see it firsthand and ask your questions. We are hosting it at our office. Again, that's that way if you have a specific question, we can pull up the software and show you. So that's kind of the goal of this, is just to get everybody up on this and on the same page and make sure that we're all working in sync with each other. So, so again, if you would just let me know, because we all don't want to be there on a Saturday by ourselves. So if no one can attend, that's fine. We understand. We'll try to reschedule it, but if you would let us know.
Thank you. Ben, any questions for Ben? If not, under unfinished business, at the Monday, March 10th meeting, a motion was made to table discussion on municipal buildings to tonight's agenda for further discussion. There are 2 points that need to be considered this evening. One is setting a date for another workshop open to the public to where we can talk about the different plans that are to be presented, and then also maybe discuss by a timeline when we want to have a decision made. Having a decision made, that date may be a little more difficult to determine, depending on how the discussion goes at a workshop.
Mayor, part of the tabling was to have Art come back with the 2 proposals. Do you want them to go ahead and go through that now so the council has that information?
No, that wasn't part of the,
That was definitely the motion.
sure.
Okay. So per the workshop request of the council, Arc Design is here tonight to give you a follow-up on the request from the council. They're basically giving you 2 different options to compare apples to apples. And it's kind of a 1,000-foot view, so I think Andy and John are going to do this. If anyone in the crowd wants a copy, this is on the agenda, it's on the website, but we do have hard copies, so if anybody wants that, just raise your hand if you do want a hard copy.
Good evening, everyone. I share your pain in suffering such an exciting celebration. I used to have to do that myself. So following firefighters and police officers saving people's lives is a tough act to follow. As the mayor mentioned, we were here at a workshop in early May, and as part of that conversation, we were working through really 2 options. We were asked to try to generate a apples to apples comparison. And the packet that was, I believe, included and sent to the Common Council in preparation for this meeting includes just a handful of slides. And the assumptions that we made generating this is that they really are apples to apples. As best we could make the 2 different options, that is what we attempted to do. One option is an all-new building of about 16,000 square feet. And the other one is taking this facility to provide similar levels of space for city functions in them. Both options that are included in the packet include removing the utility office. We did that only to make sure that it was apples to apples. Neither one of these options necessarily requires that to happen. There are some implications of not demolishing the utility office, but we were trying to make sure that, again, both options were as close to being equal in performance as possible. The areas in both options are effectively identical. There were a few very minor differences. This building has a small cellar or basement area that could really be offset in the new building option because you have a roof to be able to put equipment up onto if you needed to. And then the other option, the other difference between the 2 options is this space, okay? The program space for the council chambers. In this building, it's quite a bit larger because of the gallery. And so those spaces are a little different, but otherwise, in every other respect, all of the departments that have been accounted for in the buildings is identical. We did generate cost projections, and as you'll see in the documentation that was forwarded to you, those cost projections have actually come out to be very, very similar, and I have some comments as to why that is happening. Those cost projections did not just come from our office. We actually Andy Hine, worked with 2 commercial contractors, one based out of Bloomington, one out of Indianapolis, that are familiar with this kind of work. We also had our site work validated by Banning Engineering, who I believe you're familiar with. The costs of each option are relative. I think, as we mentioned in the workshop, part of what we believe our charge is to make sure that the largest reasonably expected envelope financially is given to you. There's always abilities to reduce costs, but we don't want to be in a situation where we said that something can be done for X and it turns out that it's 2X, and that's a very, very difficult conversation after you've made decisions. So what the prices that are shown here, the costs that are shown, are relative to one another. We could reduce the costs. It is reasonable to anticipate that if the same effort is made to reducing costs in the renovation option is also made in the new option, that those costs are going to still be relative to one another, if that makes sense. Then on the next couple pages are each option in some detail showing the different areas. The new building option is on 4 levels. There is a basement level, a lower level, if you will. That is primarily shell space for future expansion.
And then the various city functions are programmed into the upper 3 floors. There is an elevator for the building. And this option really doesn't do anything at all to this current facility. Okay? It's saying that funds are not going to be invested into this building, at least not as part of this project. It would all be focused on the new building. You can see again, we have the construction cost, and for those of you that might not have been at the workshop, construction cost is really the anticipated cost that a contractor is going to charge. And then the project cost is the total package that's required to implement a public works project. So that's the fees for the architects and engineers, it's site surveys, it's soil borings, it's a contingency factor, which will become part of the conversation here in a moment. And again, for the benefit of the people that may not have a packet in front of them, the construction cost on this is projected at $7.8 million with a total project cost of $9.5, 16,000 square foot building, 4,000 square feet on the floor level. So that is option 1. Option 2 is saying that this is the building that will continue to support the city of Martinsville. Again, what is shown in that diagram and what has been estimated is a total facility of about 16,000 square feet. That is predominantly on 2 levels, first and second floor. There's no real basement in the addition, at least not as priced out right here. Part of the reason why these costs are the way they are, we'll cover this on the next summary page, but the addition is obviously smaller, and based upon commentary that we've heard so far, this is based upon removing the firehouse portion of the building to the behind us here, the old bay space, and then building the addition there into the back, into the parking lot. Again, as I mentioned, the utility office is shown as being removed. That's not inherent in either one of the options. And this option would allow us to begin to adjust for all of the different level changes that exist in this building today. So the facility as a whole would be accessible throughout. And so that is where we are on option 2. And then the final slide is really just comparing these apples side by side, option 1 and option 2. So the option 1 is the new building on the left-hand side. It shows an estimated construction cost of about 7.8 and a project cost of 9.5. The renovation is 7.4 and 9.3, and you might ask, why are those costs so close to one another? There are some pros and cons to each option. There's not really a right or wrong answer, at least not in our opinion. But one of the issues is a new building does have less construction risk. Okay, once we get the building out of the ground, we are in great control over what happens in that building, and the opportunity for things to happen during construction is reduced. So the construction contingency that's included in that estimate is smaller because, once again, we're out of the ground. We don't have to worry about that quite as much. You were approving change orders, well, the Public Works Committee, I guess, was approving change orders earlier this evening, having to do with those kind of construction issues. On option 2 with the renovation, there is more contingency dollars in there, which is part of the reason why that expense is up higher. Because it is quite likely that in a building of this age, with the number of changes that have happened through its life, that we're going to wind up with some additional opportunities for change orders down the road. There are things that, until we open up a wall or encounter some subsurface conditions, building a new addition next to an existing building, those kinds of things will generate more cost. Another key factor that I think plays into this, and again, there's not a right or wrong answer, at least not in our opinion, is that one of the benefits of the new building is it means that the functions can continue to operate in this building while the new one is being built. There is a complexity factor of renovating because the functions that are in this facility would need to go somewhere during that construction period. Doesn't mean it can't be done. I've been in many projects, involved in many projects, both as an owner and as an architect, where that can be done, but it is a factor that makes the difference. It strikes me in this that if you were hoping that the cost would be the sole determiner of what the right answer was, what we're seeing is it's much closer than we actually even thought. Internally ourselves, we're surprised at how closely this has come about. As I mentioned, we had 2 contractors look at this and help to identify where our numbers were right or wrong, where our numbers might be too high or too low, and they concur with the projections that we're providing here. Based upon the information that's available now, we have obviously not gone through an extensive design process. There's not a set of drawings much more complicated than what you're seeing here this evening. And so there is more detailed information that needs to be generated if the project were to move forward. But we believe that these numbers are within a correct range of magnitude for this project. So with that, our intention here this evening was really more to kind of provide an opportunity to answer any questions that might have been triggered by this information. But really, this is a conversation I think that needs to occur, within your world about which is the better option, because cost is not necessarily the deciding factor. It's not like one of these is half the cost of the other, for the same quality level, for the same square footage. So, anything I missed?
I think the only thing I would add is on the positive side is keeping this, the renovation from running away and being too expensive, because we are looking at this building being updated or to give you the same kind of service that the new building will give you. This has the exterior closure, it has solid exterior and the roof structure and that kind of thing on this end that is an asset. So again, the more we looked at this, the more we talked to the contractors and that kind of thing, they literally were starting to level themselves out. We weren't looking for that, but it's kind of shown itself to me that this is more about what is best for you from a functional standpoint than from a dollar standpoint. Doesn't make it any easier, we're not saying that, but we just have to tell you what we found, what we've uncovered.
Happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
You said both of them have the cost of taking the water utility out?
That is included in the number in both of them, correct?
So what is that cost, do you know?
Oh, gosh. So while Andy's looking up the number, are you looking for the demolition number? Is that what
Yes,
you're
I
looking for?
guess.
Yeah. So while Andy's looking up the demolition number, the square footage is included in both options to create new space, whether it's inside this part of the building renovated or built on the parking lot on a new facility. Do you have a
We got
demolition?
about $115,000 in there, and that would actually make sure that the site is prepped to come back and parking in that area.
So that's removing the building itself, all the foundations, and making sure that whatever work needs to be done to prepare the building pad is included in there.
With that construction too, I think we still have, we have buried tanks in the gas.
That's included in that. Jamie gave us a number for that, and we'd like to give you that number here. It's $50,000 to remove that tank in each of the options.
Again, our intention, our goal was to provide the largest envelope, so there's no surprises, because that doesn't help anyone to have a surprise down the road.
And you said you also referenced or brought this to Manning as
Correct.
well?
For the site work.
Was there anyone else besides Manning or?
Not on the site side.
Okay.
They have a pretty good handle. They've visited the site a couple of times, and so we felt confident in their review of it.
You say it was two contracting?
Yeah.
Yes, Brandt Construction.
Indianapolis.
Hold on one second, I'm sorry. You said
Weddle-
Brand?
Yeah, Weddle Construction out of
Bloomington.
Thank you.
Brent has done, can you, like, cite, like, buildings or whatever that they built or done, remodeled?
Did you say-
I've heard their name.
Yeah, what have they done here in Martinsville, Gary, do you know? Gary, do you know which Brandt's done in
Because they've done work here in the city.
What?
Where?
Brent has finished the National Guard Armory, Weddle's done here in town, and does a lot by you.
So they've done the National Guard Armory, Brent has, and what else?
Brent in the armories.
Oh, okay.
They also do a lot of this, they do this kind of renovation work. So
Okay.
they have an expertise in that, it doesn't scare them.
Okay.
I've worked with them on the renovation of the high school to an office space. I don't know where else I've worked with them before.
They are a merit shop, so they're not going to be the highest. They're
Non-union.
Non-union. But they'll use union contractors when they can get good
So both those companies would be involved in this?
That was two different.
Okay. That's what I was checking.
I believe this project will need to be publicly bid, right?
Yeah, this
It's
will
a
have to be
public
bid
works
out, so
project.
these
So-
aren't quotes or anything like that, this is
Correct.
just
I
a,
just
yeah.
want to make sure.
Correct, yeah, so it's a good point, to make sure that we all understand.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Our intention was to get someone other than an architect or an engineer generating those prices to make sure that we are not missing, overstating, or understating anything with these cost estimates.
There's a lot of volatility right now in pricing for mechanical and plumbing, and so we wanted to make sure we were getting additional views.
What was the company out of Bloomington again?
Weddle Brothers,
Well,
W-E-D-D-L-E, right?
Is there any cost in the parking lot? I mean, is that?
That is, there's cost numbers in there for parking lot development, right?
Yeah, this is all in, this would include all site work.
So it'd be blacktop parking lot when you, yeah.
That's correct.
Pavement, building pad development, utility, infrastructure, stormwater detention, all those things that need to be included in a project of this type.
There's no cost in taking this building down if it,
There's nothing, correct, in the option for the new building, there's no cost associated with any work in this building. This would remain as is, as part of that option.
Okay, I think a lot of information. Again, I believe we need to have a public workshop on this, and so we need to set a date. If we want to do it next Monday, you know, we could come back at 6 o'clock and discuss things further. We would need to get with Mr. Peters to find out where we are with the new Senate Bill 1 being passed, where we are on our bonding capabilities. I know we talked about $6.7 million that we could bond that wouldn't raise our property tax rate. So a lot of things we need to discuss.
Thank you.
thanks.
So does anybody want to look at their schedules to see what next Monday looks like, or do we want to put this out farther?
Okay, so we're going to discuss again what?
We need to discuss, have a meeting and what Art presented. I know we've had some other architect looked at some drawings and so forth, look at different ideas we have, and we need to talk with Mr. Peters on what we're going to be able to bond and how that would be affected by the Senate bill that just passed.
Did Mr. Peter, did he tell us that before, like how much we could bond?
Well, that's what we were talking about, but things have changed quite a bit, and on what we're going to be receiving over the next 3 years.
Monday's good for me.
I'm good.
So set a meeting for Monday the 21st, 6 o'clock?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, we'll put that on the calendar and let that be open.
Is Mr. Peters going to be here, or?
I will talk to him. Okay, moving on. Ben, you got a lot of motions to get made here, was there 20?
Yes. I'll go through these fairly quickly. So we received from Artesian Group their annual CF1 reports. These are required as part of the tax abatement that Martinsville granted them. Part of these took effect in 2018, and those expire in 2028. The rest were done in 2021. Those expire in the year 2030. Each individual one that's in your packet refers to the resolution number, so you can see what year it corresponds with that, whether it drops off in 2028 or 2030. But I've looked through each of these individually. They all meet the state requirements. They are complete and accurate. So my recommendation would be that they all are approved tonight. So that's what's before you.
So we have to approve each one individually. Would it be easier to just go by the address as opposed to reading off the number?
Yes, if you want to use address or the letter, yeah, probably address would be the easiest, but yeah, we do need to do them individually.
So,
A motion that 96 East Morgan Street be approved.
second. Motion made and seconded to approve 96 East Morgan Street. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
I make a motion that 60 South Jefferson Street be approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded for 60 South Jefferson Street to be approved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
A motion that 240 North Jefferson Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made to approve 240 North Jefferson Street, and it was seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
A motion that 210 North Jefferson Street be approved.
Second.
The motion made and seconded to approve 210 North Jefferson Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
A motion that 21 North Jefferson Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 21 North Jefferson Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Make a motion that 27 North Jefferson Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 27 North Jefferson Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
A motion that 23 through 39 East Washington Street and 41 through 43 South Main Street be approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded to approve 23 to 29, 39 East Washington Street, and 41 to 43 South Main Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
A motion that 10 through 18 East Morgan Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 10 through 18 East Morgan Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
I make a motion that 38 through 40 North Main Street be approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded to approve 38 to 40 North Main Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
I make a motion that 88 through 90 North Main Street be approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded to approve 88 to 90 North Main Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
A motion that 154 North Main Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 154 North Main Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I motion that 128 through 142 North Main Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 128 to 142 North Main Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
I make a motion that 66 East Morgan Street be approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded to approve 66 East Morgan Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I motion that 78 East Morgan Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 78 East Morgan Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I motion that 171 North Main Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 171 North Main Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
I make a motion that 72 East Morgan Street be approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded to approve 72 East Morgan Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
I motion that 88 East Morgan Street be approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 88 East Morgan Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I make a motion that 152 North Main Street be approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded to approve 152 North Main Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
And I make a motion that 78 North Main Street be approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded for 78 North Main Street to be approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Good job. Next item on the agenda are the claims. You were sent claims prior to tonight's meeting. Are there any questions or comments regarding the claims?
I have a question regarding the old dispatch office, $14,690. What was that for?
I think that was repainting and getting that up to where we have now an open window there, and Lisa is, for the building inspector's office, is there, and the code enforcement officer's in there.
$14,690. So painting, window, and what else?
Flooring, and a little bit of wiring, I think. A lot of it's cleared out.
Was that the city discount? Okay. That's my only question.
Ben, I just noticed, and I apologize, I had a circle, but back on those statements of benefits, tax abatement, I'm sure you're not going off the agenda, but it said 23 through 39, and the abatement is 23 through 29, then it's 39, and 41 through 43.
Oh, no. But thank you, though.
So 30, 31, and so forth, yeah.
For not including.
Still looking for a motion on the claims?
Mayor, I'm gonna guess, go ahead. No. I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the claims as presented. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Any comments from the council this evening?
Mayor, on that claim she just, that Councilwoman Miller mentioned, I'm managing to get things going for that, but we probably won't be doing any more until we decide if we're gonna remodel all this, correct?
Right.
Like, just hopefully we'll be able to remodel and save this.
And the large portion of that was for the window, because the way the little half circle, little
I
circle.
took many complaints to that little window.
Yeah, we should have gave that to you.
Yeah.
But we took that out to make it a lot more accessible, so when people do come in, they see Lisa sitting there, and she can help them out, because probably the majority between the city court situations and building inspector, that's what most people are coming in for.
I just want to say that I've gotten a few calls about renovating as far as City Hall is concerned, and most constituents I spoke with would like to see City Hall renovated.
We're having a good discussion next week, and like I said, you know, finances may come into play on that too, until we know for sure what we're going to get, or better say, not get.
Yeah. I think we'll know by the end of the week, so.
Good. Any other comments from the council? Anyone from the public want to comment this evening?
What's the chances on getting the park board or whoever's in charge of the park to come up and give us a rundown of what's going on this year and events and different things?
We can ask Ashley to come to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Any from the public?
Good evening, folks. Richard Durnall, 339 South Ohio Street. I won't take up much of your time. We'll be back here next Monday. Looking forward to that. I did just want to state, and Mr. Merida mentioned this, I mean, we know Senate Bill 1 is still under consideration at the State House right now. All current projections look like tax revenue growth it could slow drastically over the next several years. I would be more than willing to have discussions with anybody who would like to speak publicly or privately I'm kind of a numbers geek, so I have several years' worth of net assessed value, tax levy rate information. I think Mr. Lind would have been proud of my math on some of these. But one interesting thing to note, because assessed value in Martinsville has stagnated, this year I believe we have a record number of homestead properties that have hit their 1% circuit breaker tax. And that can come across as loss of revenue. There's also some discussion with local income taxes, and as I understand it, Morgan County as a whole could be limited on our options to navigate those waters. So I think I'll just leave it at that now and see you next Monday. Thank you.
Richard, I would like to say thank you. I know you brought to my attention about the courthouse, and I talked to some of the county officials. Originally, they weren't going to put that foot traffic in. They're going to, and that's putting that foot traffic in. I think it's going to the tune of $24 million. So I'm kind of excited to see a $9 million price tag here over 24 to remodel the courthouse. And I know the new law campus, I think, was 32 million. I think it was 16 prior to that, just the parking lot and the homes and things. So if they just did a little checking on that, so they're going to have some offices open, but between 24 million to get it remodeled.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Decker.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? If not, just an announcement that on all non-emergency city offices and services will be closed on Friday, April 18th for a Good Friday holiday. Additionally, the utility office and transfer station will be closed Saturday, April 19th in observance for the holiday. For those who normally have their trash picked up on Friday, it would be picked up on Monday. So our next meeting of the Common Council will be on April 28th at 7 o'clock, but we'll get a notice out for the workshop for next Monday.